But we should introduce ourselves. Hey, I'm Uri Shatil.
I'm Tyler Durniak.
And this is our podcast, episode 1. We haven't named the podcast or anything because we don't know what it's going to be. But
that's a good idea for a pilot episode. I've never seen that.
You've never seen anyone do a pilot?
No, a pilot where they talk about the name. I've seen many of those.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting if we spent an hour. Wait a minute. Would that be interesting? No, that'd be horrible.
No, yeah, but that's what we're aiming for, right?
We're aiming for horrible.
We're aiming for horrible.
Well, we'll introduce ourselves. We're comedians from Boston, Massachusetts, who are now in New York City. Yep. And we're just trying to make something funny, I guess. How was your day today, Tyler?
Oh, it was great. I was out until 3 a.m. last night, so I slept the entire day.
Nice.
It's
brag.
Great.
What were you doing until 3 a.m.?
I went to. Do we name things? What a podcast?
I would say maybe don't name people who aren't entertainers and didn't volunteer to be named. Who I went to high school with and you're now buddies with and are in town on bereavement. I would say don't name them by name. But
so don't name that I was out all last night with star quarterback Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, did he have a heart attack on the field? No. What happened to him?
That's DeMar Hamlin. That's his teammate.
Yes, his teammate. But what happened to Josh Allen? Did he got like a knee blown out or something?
I don't think anything like that has happened. He posted some fun tweets as a high schooler that got dug up.
Oh, really? What did he say? Was it about Asians? Was it about Asians?
No, it's the one.
He said the word?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's like a high school student in rural wherever he's from.
Wow.
I do not know if that's true.
He didn't use that word to describe his teammate who had a heart attack on the field?
No. That would be that would have been bigger news. I would not be breaking that to you.
Sure.
If that was immediately after the
that would be interesting if a quarterback did like a Michael Richards thing. That would be because Michael Richards is a bit of a quarterback name.
Oh yeah, and he is a bit of a quarterback body type.
He's a little long.
I could think of Kramer behind center, just going out into the flats, ready to launch a bomb.
That would be a good episode. I'm trying to write spec scripts. I don't know if you can write a spec script for a cartoon, but I came up with a Family Guy spec script idea.
Ooh.
Which I'll put it out there. Nobody's gonna see this.
Yeah.
Peter becomes a professional boxer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if has that happened, Family Guy.
He has become a boxer, and Lois has become a boxer. Homer Simpson had a famous episode where he became a boxer.
He did. Fuck. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't seen all of the episodes. I would not be surprised if there's an episode of Bob's Burgers where he becomes a boxer.
Every cartoon dad has to be a boxer.
Yeah.
Well, my take on it was that he's so dumb that he could just take unlimited shots to the head. That's probably the gag they already use on the show.
That is the gag. Homer Simpson's gag is that he has. I forget if it's because he's taken so many shots to the head, or it's their way to explain why he's able to constantly get hit in the head. But I think he has a liquid cushion within his skull.
Okay.
That his skull is thicker, so there's less space for the brain, but it acts as an internal football helmet.
This is why I'm never going to be a writer in Hollywood, because I can only think of the most obvious plot lines that have already happened.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do other sports. Peter Griffin gets way into the shot put, but oh no, he threw it into the crowd.
Oh, he was too good. He was
too good.
He had that R word strength. Do we say the R word on this show? Do you say the R word in your personal life?
Can we? All right, here's what we do. You know how in like high school and college basketball they don't do like jump ball if two people pull
Of course
onto it.
I know the rules of high school basketball. Who doesn't watch high school basketball
But
every week?
They'll have like
Tyler?
the bonus arrow that goes back and forth. It'll be like, oh, if it's a jump ball, this team
yes,
will get it.
I'm familiar with the arrow.
So we'll have the arrow set up, and one of us uses it, and then it goes the other direction. So then that initial person can't use it until the other person uses it.
Oh, we can only say retard one at a time?
Yeah, and now you can't say it until I say it.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully it
we
won't
have
take long.
We have a series of rules, a very complicated.
This is just going to end up with me saying it once an episode. 'Cause you're too scared. Let's introduce.
Scared.
We do have a premise for this, though. By the way, if you're watching this far, I'm amazed. Probably one of us has died, and you're doing some sort of creepy like look back and like, whoa, this is so weird what they were doing. But we do have a premise. Our premise that we tried for this one is to watch an episode of an international TV show. That's what's playing behind us.
Sorry, I just looked up and it just said, "Auntie, I just had an abortion."
Oh, yeah, this is the abortion scene. We'll get into it. We watched a Cambodian show. It's in Khmer. The language is Khmer. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly.
I think you got it. I think you nailed
Khmer.
it. Khmer.
The show was called Taste of Life. It was produced in 2004 by the BBC. Yeah, this one is. The thing is, the show. I don't know what your feelings were, but there was like. The description was like the show became a hit in Cambodia because it like tackled AIDS and all sorts of social issues that were prevalent in Cambodia. But then the show itself was like very, very mild, man.
Yeah.
Like nothing crazy happened. It was just like nursing students kind of going about life and a teenager having an abortion.
Yeah. I mean, it's Cambodian Scrubs, which is my favorite part.
You compared it to Scrubs.
Yeah.
But they're nurses.
Yeah.
I guess nurses wear. There are nurses in Scrubs.
They all wear scrubs.
Carla's from Scrubs is a nurse.
Yeah. There's other nurses on Scrubs. I have never seen a TV show in my life, so I've just.
You never saw Scrubs?
I did see parts.
You're a scrub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the universe. What is it? Ball don't lie. I think that. I think that's my moment. That's my ball don't lie moment.
Hopefully the audio picked that up nice because it made a good flopping sound. It was very embarrassing.
Oh, it was great. The whole class. There's a class of children also in this room. You can't hear them, but they are all pointing and laughing at you.
They're dying, man.
Yeah. They are. There's not a lot of oxygen in this room. That's the other conceit of this podcast. Is it's a hermetically sealed chamber.
And that's way more interesting than anything we've come up with. Jesus Christ.
And we see who can continue bantering the longest without going into hypoxia.
Ooh, that's a good word.
It is a good word. I don't know if that means lack of blood to the brain.
It doesn't. Okay.
Yes.
How do we want to just go from the beginning? This is playing behind us. We'll just go from the beginning. What were your initial thoughts? I mean, it starts off with her riding on the back of like a moped, which I think is a super common form of travel in Southeast Asia.
Oh yeah. No, it's a beautiful way, easy to get around.
Yeah,
you gotta go with the moped,
and it's warm there year round. That's key for moped heavy civilizations.
Oh yeah.
That's why like the Middle East, India, Southeast Asia, there's a lot of moped travel. And she pulls up to Kampuchea Nursing College. It really, by the way, this particular show, it was produced in 2004 in Cambodia. The level of writing was like late 70s, early 80s American television. Like everything was right in front of you. They give it to you. The main character is named Nari.
Okay.
She's a nursing student. She just got over chicken pox. She's been out for 2 weeks, and everyone in the class seems completely aware of all of her business and just keeps bringing up, even though there's 20 people in the class, it seems like the whole class is oriented around the fact that she's been out for 2 weeks. I thought that was very rude.
There's definitely been that kid in class where you're like, everyone just kind of knows what's going on in their life. And they have no one else has an interesting life because they're just studying. So she's the only person doing anything outside of school. So she's everyone's social life.
Which the thing she's doing outside of school was getting chicken pox.
Yeah, so they have not had any life outside of the chicken pox.
That's not true, though, because Pisseth also works at a bar.
Ooh.
He's a nursing student. He works at a bar, and he is really horny. This is the horny kid.
There's also that one kid in class.
That was me. I was Pisseth. I was 100%. There's this hilarious shot of when Nari first gets to the class. We're introducing some of the other characters. There's Kunya, which is another girl in the class. There's Male, who's Nari's sister by adoption.
Yeah.
Then there's the two boys, Bora, who he's really into his studies, and Pisseth, who is just staring down Nari, and there's this hilarious. Did you notice that over the shoulder look shot? I cracked up laughing. He had this creepy smile on. He is so horny for Nari, and it's just the only thing he talks about the whole time. And And then there was the other. There was a couple other things, by the way. The other thing that was jarring is right as she gets to class, the teacher takes a phone call.
Yeah. Just fucking, just like, all right, yeah, class about, gotta take this.
He said he got to take this. And it's just a phone call from his wife where they're just talking about
Yeah, not from the hospital.
mundanity.
Not like,
No, they're just like, should we buy our kid a car? And they're just arguing about it while he's supposed to be teaching class. It was very bizarre.
yeah, look, he's busy. He teaches a class. He doesn't have a lot of time outside of the class. So he's got to do all of his family stuff there.
Now, what did you think of the Khmer language?
It's great. Uri, I thought we were watching this along. Like we were going to watch this together for the first time.
Oh, you didn't.
So I'm yes-anding a lot of this.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
I didn't. I thought we were supposed to watch it on the day, and I was like, how long do I keep the charade up?
Oh man,
I'm so sorry, Uri.
you didn't know.
That's why I was like, oh, I've got this set up. We'll watch it behind.
I sent you the link twice.
You did, and I thought you're like, hey, we're going to watch this now.
Okay,
I'm very sorry. I do.
Here's our first segment of the show. It's called Texts to Tyler.
The first segment of the show is called Uri beats Tyler to a pulp.
I said, okay. I did say, let's watch this. It's Cambodian. I did say
that's all. Those were the instructions. If I was at a
okay, let's see where else okay. And then I just wrote earlier in the text, here's a Cambodian show called Taste of Life. I guess I didn't really specify you were supposed to watch it in advance.
That's why I thought, let's watch this, not watch this.
No,
let's do this together.
I think it's against copyright if you watch along on YouTube. I don't think they're cool with that.
We fought a whole war for this. That's what it was about. Copyright, right?
You did a great job, by the way.
Of faking my way through it. Yeah. I was like, eventually he's gonna pick up on this.
No,
I would have kept going, and then you're like, "What did you think of the Khmer language?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna improv my feelings on a foreign language." I don't know, man. It sounds crazy. Those words aren't even English.
Do you want to know what happens in Taste of Life?
Absolutely. I'm enthralled.
I mean, okay. In this scene, Nari is moving in with her roommate at nursing school, who's named Kunya.
Ooh.
God damn it.
No, this is great. I'm having a great time.
This is good because we actually didn't like this premise. After we tried it, so we are gonna probably pivot to something else. This is hilarious. This first episode is we're gonna call it fail. People love fail on YouTube.
Oh yeah. What? All right. This doesn't work if I tell you that it's the premise. But what if the premise is every week you come up with a really good idea for a podcast?
You misunderstand.
And I just fully. I was gonna say just don't do the preparation for it.
Oh, okay. So the premise of the podcast is I do a bunch of work and Tyler does nothing.
If you think that's a great premise for a podcast, vote online.
Okay.
There is going to be a poll for this, but yes.
One other thing, God damn it. One thing that I found hilarious. Oh, dude, this motorcycle guy. This guy shows up on a motorcycle.
I didn't know they had Danny Trejo.
He's supposed to be like a Danny Trejo type, like a badass, and he picks up Pisseth. But then when he goes over to talk, he's actually such a dork.
The guy drinks in the bar where Pisseth works.
Yeah. I just realized.
Wants Pisseth?
Apparently, I didn't notice that before, but that's Malay. Malay. That's Nari's adopted sister.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of discussion about whether or not they were blood related to Bora, one of the boys. So that's definitely foreshadowing. So Malay and Nari are gonna hook up with Bora and Pisseth, but it's not clear who's who. This motorcycle guy is supposed to be a badass, but he's really a dork. I guess maybe by like Cambodian TV standards, he's cool. But there's also we're gonna see something pretty coming up, pretty cool that I thought was nice.
Hell
a trike rickshaw. It's called a cycle rickshaw. I looked it up.
Oh,
because
yeah.
there's in Southeast Asia they have these things called tuk-tuks, which is an auto rickshaw, but those are kind of now the main way. But back in 2004
right?
in India too.
Yeah.
Back in 2004, they had these cycle rickshaws. But normally, like here in New York City, you'll see pedicabs.
Yeah.
With a bench in the back, and then the right here.
Oh,
see
God.
the seats are up front.
Yeah.
And the things in the back. That girl just had an abortion. She collapses in the preview for next week.
Oh, well, fucking spoilers.
Spoilers for something you're never gonna.
Something I was supposed to watch.
You should have to go back and watch it.
I will. I will go back and watch this just as tribute for you. I will still defend myself and say you did not tell me to watch it. I only follow command.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much the end of my notes. I mean, there's one thing that I noticed about this show. Maybe this is Cambodian culture, but lunch seems to be a huge deal in this.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of discussion about have you eaten lunch? When are you eating lunch? What are you eating for lunch? They bring lunch around in these yellow plastic bags. Lunch seems to be, this is a love poem that Pisseth wrote for Nari. He is so horny. This kid Pisseth is crazy horny.
Oh, God. I really hope he figures out that one of the girls is actually interested in him. Since the other was like, oh, why is he like Nari? I'm right here.
Yeah. That, which I don't know why Pisseth is so desirable. He's so horny. At one point, the motorcycle kid picks him up from his job at the bar,
and he won't let him ride on the back.
He comes right there. He comes on the motorcycle. No, actually, it's another cultural thing in South and Southeastern Asia. People come.
Just come.
No. People, it's much more normal to have a guy ride on the back of another guy's motorcycle or moped.
Yeah.
Here, people would, if you're, I would say, in the white and black communities, that would be, sus, what the kids call sus. Unless, of course.
I don't think the kids call it sus anymore, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, unless it's one thing if the rider is a top and the guy on the back is a bottom. That's obviously normal.
Are the tops always driving?
Huh? Yeah. If you got the handlebars, you're the top.
It just doesn't matter anything else. That's just you have to have.
Yeah, if you're a bottom and you're riding, and then whoever's the top, you can ride a motorcycle, but like if somebody's topping you, you don't want to being on the back of the bike is a submissive position because you are surrendering control of your life and safety to somebody else. So the other person's in control, they're the top.
See, while I'm on the back, I'm actually being a switch, which is where I throw my hands around their eyes.
Yeah.
So I reassert my control over the situation.
You give them the reach around. You reach around and you grab the handlebars and you actually ride from the back. That's a power bottom.
Power bottom on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You got those really long back handlebars.
Yeah, you hold the handlebars from the back. Yeah. That's funny. I used to think power bottom was made up for TV, but some people on Grindr.
For TV?
Like it's
some executive at NBC is like, all right, guys.
No, the writers for Always Sunny. That's when it entered the mainstream culture. But on Grindr, people do call themselves power bottoms.
Oh, it's been around for a while. It's been around for ages.
Yeah.
That's I was actually called that after I ate too much Taco Bell.
You had a powerful bottom.
Powerful bottom. Yeah, they didn't let me on the school bus.
Yeah, good thing you talk about not Cambodian food. I don't know if you're weak white man stomach. Do you know a lot of Cambodian people?
I've known maybe one.
Okay. I've known a few, but they were all related. I knew a family. I knew a Cambodian family.
As far as you know, it's all one family over there.
No, I think there's a big in Lynn, Massachusetts. There's a big Cambodian and Laotian population in the North Shore of Massachusetts in general.
Just kind of one dude showed up, and then everyone's like following you.
There's a big Laotian population in Lowell. Not that that's the same as Cambodian. Oh, this is the motorcycle pickup scene. This scene is hilarious. So the motorcycle guy whistles.
Yeah.
Here's Pisseth. He's working at a bar. Okay. And he asks his boss for time off.
Yeah.
He's like, "Can I leave?" It's 7 p.m.
Yeah.
It's 7 p.m. He's waiting tables. And, that guy catcalls women. That's not cool.
Not very well.
No.
He was just,
he
hey,
does a
girls,
bad
where
job.
are you going?
Then this guy is such a douche. He's like the guy in the fancy shirt.
The recipe shirt.
He's supposed to be a
The
douche.
shirt just says recipe.
And he's a doctor. He's just...
the right.
It does say recipe. I didn't notice that. See, this is why Watch Along is good. It just has random English words on it.
Yeah, just words that... Maybe it's Alden?
Look at that. He's bragging about being a doctor, and then boom, Pisseth spills his beer. And then she's like, you ruined my skirt. And he goes and yells at him and tries to get him fired. And the barkeep refuses to fire him. The barkeep really is a very, very... He's a realistic character in that he just doesn't do anything. He just doesn't... He doesn't confront anybody. So...
Jeez.
In the preview for next week, we found out that Pisseth... They're doing like nurse rounds at the hospital,
and he has to nurse for this.
He has to
doctor?
work for that doctor. Yeah,
man.
So they're setting up.
He-
There's a few spots here though where they set up conflict and then they just completely ignore it. Like there's one thing at the beginning where this teacher is like, "I'll watch your bags for you," and they do a close up on the bags being put in a corner. Then later she just gets the bags back. It's no big deal.
Now, do you think when he's going to be nursing for this doctor, halfway through his surgery, he's going to be like, "Hey, I need to clock out to talk to my motorcycle friend," and then he knocks all the blood out of that guy's hand? That's just the recurring thing. He's always knocking shit out of this doctor's
that would
hand.
be actually be pretty good for this show. That would be better. That'd be more exciting and interesting than this show. This scene though is hilarious. This motorcycle accident scene. Oh well, first there's some bullshit with the poem, but they're about to get in a motorcycle accident with the teacher's wife is driving. The motorcycle guy has Pisseth on the back.
Yeah.
There's a wreck. The people on the motorcycle, completely fine. Nothing happens. They hit the deck. Nothing happens to them. Meanwhile, the lady driving is like almost dead.
Does she? I assume she hits like a wall or something. It's not just the motorcycle.
No, he makes her spin out and hit a wall.
Oh yeah.
But they fall. They're going at like highway speeds here. They're going like 50, not American freeway speeds, but they're going 50, 60 with no helmet.
Well, he's wearing his protective T-shirt.
He is. That is motorcycle. We're actually sponsored by Scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpion motorcycles. They got the wheels.
That's a good read.
They got the wheels.
That's a good read. Scorpion's got the wheels.
Yeah, they paid me 7 motorcycles to say that.
All right, let's watch for this crash. It's the last thing that happens in the episode, and then we can just, I guess, bullshit for another 20.
Perfect. And then as soon as I'm excited for this podcast to go on for 2 hours, because as soon as that camera stops, or he's just gonna start pummeling me.
That's true. You need to keep this going as long as you can.
This
so you can
is
stay
like
alive.
this is like what is it?
There. See,
no.
the wreck happened, and then they're going to the Lady Uri. She's covered in blood. Pisseth and the motorcycle guy are totally fine, and the motorcycle guy's like,
can't stay
we
here.
need to leave. Yeah, he's like a bad guy, but the guy playing him just does not. You know what? I think it's more the fault of the wardrobe people. It also isn't clear to me why this motorcycle guy wants to be such good friends with a nursing student if he just wants to catcall women and
because then he has an in with the nurses.
Maybe that's his angle.
I think that's probably going to be the angle.
There's a preview for next week. Abortion girl passed out. Another tricycle rickshaw. Not clear what's happening there. They don't have captions for the next week, so there's just a conversation between Pisseth and a teacher. There's the dickhead doctor, and he's holding some towels.
Oh, is he gonna knock those towels right out of his hands?
I think he's gonna put them up his butt. They look like butthole-sized kind of gauze there.
To gauze up the inside.
Little rolls of gauze. There was also, I will say, between commercial breaks, they have this countdown and theme song, which sounds like the theme song from Mission Impossible.
Oh,
and
man.
it's hilarious. All right, we just did a watch along of Taste of Life, I guess.
I got a full taste of Taste of Life.
Yeah, you got a little taste. I actually watched it, but you got a taste of it.
I got a taste of it.
I will say, even for Tyler's fuck up, very impressive how he was able to go along. Really, That was cool.
Every episode, I won't tell you if I've watched it or not, and you have to try and guess. I'll watch it some of the time.
I like how all your podcast premises are centered around you doing less work than me. That's interesting.
That's also been a lot of my relationship premises and most of my work premises.
Is you not doing anything? Hold on, let's hit pause on this thing.
Hit pause on the.
I don't want to get spoilers for episode
2.
Two.
Oh man, they're talking. Oh god, that was supposed to pause it, but it is.
Let me see if there's anything else from my notes that I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, one thing that I thought was cool was this was from 2004 in Cambodia. They had an old phone. They had a corded phone with a button dial. I liked seeing that on TV.
Like the rotary, not the rotary.
Not a rotary, not
button.
that old. It was a beep boop boop doop beep 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 boop boop boop. That was Cambodia's area code.
Oh yeah, so now you have to do the phone number as well.
No,
that was just the area code.
The Cambodian country code is +548. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I made that up. Isn't that nice?
That's very good.
See?
Yeah.
I can yes and too.
You can yes and too. Oh, man.
All right. Do you have any ideas for a segment we could do after we're done recapping the show?
All right, we have we do a segment. It's called Tyler's Apology Block, where Tyler deeply apologizes.
Have you watched a lot of international TV?
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite international TV show?
Oh man, see, there's a couple of levels. Like I love watching international coverage of American sports.
That's interesting.
I saw Japanese coverage of baseball, which was great. I didn't understand anything they were saying.
But you understand the game. But the language of baseball is universal.
Until they just drop in Pudge Rodriguez in the middle of everything. So it's entirely unintelligible. Pudge Rodriguez.
They have an English name in there. Yeah, that's always fun.
Oh yeah. Or the famous Manny Ramirez home run in Taiwan, where the guy's speaking Taiwanese or Chinese,
Mandarin in Taiwan.
Cantonese?
They speak Mandarin.
Mandarin
In Taiwan. Yeah.
So he's speaking Mandarin, just going about it, and the player hits a home run. For no reason, he switches into English, and for the home run call says, "This ball is long gone, just like the ex-girlfriend who is never to return." Home run.
That's pretty fun. It is fun to hear because baseball has a lot of non-native English speakers, and it is fun. Like there's that one baseball player who explains why he eats bananas because a monkey never cramp. That's a good one. I'm not doing the voice. I'll say the R word, even though it's your turn. I'll say it, but I'm not doing the voice.
Yeah, I know. I'm also not doing the. Should this show be called "Not Doing the Voice"? Not doing the voice, where we. Where every episode we're like, this bit would require us to do the voice.
How about this? It's a competition reality show. Called The Voice. Okay. But instead of singing, they're not singing. Everybody is doing they're doing the same offensive accent. It's like, God damn it.
The same one.
Everybody's doing it, but it's who did the voice the best. So it's like, today we're doing Mexican. And you have a bunch of people doing like a bad stereotypical Mexican voice. And it's just like, oh God, they're doing the voice. The show is called The Voice.
There was a great, Cards Against Humanity was big. I don't know if it probably still is big.
It's still big.
We're just not in college anymore, so no one does it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
When's the last time you've played Cards Against Humanity?
It was the summer of 2022.
2022.
Yes, I was, and it was not with young people. It was with older
was this
people.
A family thing?
No, they were.
That'd be weird for a family.
They were friends, but they, I mean, we've talked about this off of recording before, but it's definitely a certain thing when you're with like a group of people who like they need a little extra push to have fun. That kind of group of people, and then that's kind of where things. So it was I mean, it was fun. It's not as fun as like the fucking awesome lives we lead as comedian. But it wasn't like partying, but it's fun enough.
Oh yeah, I always thought of it as a game that was so specific for college, where you get in a room with a lot of people and no one quite knows where everyone else's level of like jokes and offensiveness that they'd be okay with. So the game does the offensive jokes for you. So it's not, you're not the one saying
like, oh,
it. It's
I
the
had to put the
card.
card down. Isn't it? Yeah, that's nice.
If you open up a party with that, then everyone kind of gets where everyone else is by their reactions.
Yeah. And they've got the different versions and expansion packs. Like I got a version of it. It was Cards Against Humanity. Oops, all N-words. That's just all the cards. Because there's the white cards with the topics, and there's the black cards, and it was just all N-words.
You see the white cards, they flip like this, but the black cards.
Man. It's okay. Nobody's watching.
Oh, dude, I had an idea for a Cards Against Humanity style game. It was called Don't Say the N-Word. So the game is a
very easy game, by the way.
No, so you get points by flipping a card, and the first person to yell out what's on the card wins. But there's one card. And then they flip it, and if you yell it, you lose all your points.
Yeah. But then, and this is another thing, too, and I hear this all the time.
Yeah.
I hear this all the time. You know what? Actually, I'm pivoting. I don't want to talk about stand-up. That's one rule of this podcast. We don't talk about being comics.
You're a comic?
That would be a good premise for a podcast, because I know you're a big Peanuts fan.
Yeah,
We could do a comic strip-oriented podcast. That could be interesting.
That would be. I was cooking up. Each week we bring in our new board game pitch.
Yeah, that could be that could be it. Do you have a pitch for a board game? Lay it on me.
Oh,
soy boy. He's wearing a soy boy T-shirt. If you can't see from the camera.
Sponsored by the soy industry. The soy industry. Now everyone's got tits.
All right.
Oh man, I gave you my my board game. I guess. Do card games count in the board?
You just did one?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to come up with one.
Yeah.
Okay. It's called, and stay with me here. It's called Settlers of Afghanistan.
Ooh.
Okay. And it's sort of like a Risk type game where there's 3 teams. There's 4 teams. There's the USSR is one team. The USA is another team. The Taliban is the 3rd team. And the 4th team is a farmer with 4 children who is desperately trying to eat. Okay? And in the game, the 3 other players, the Taliban, the USSR, and the United States, those 3 players take turns slapping the farmer in the face and stealing his possessions.
And this is a board game.
Yeah, it's a.
Is this like those board games where they have the little plastic thing in the middle, like a crocodile's head or something?
That's a good idea. So then you hit a little spinny thing. And it's like, oh, who's trying to take over Afghanistan this time?
Who's doing it this time?
And it's like, oh, this time it's Taliban again. And then the Taliban player just smacks the farmer player in the face.
Legitimate idea. For a board game, it's Guess Who, but with countries.
Oh, that's good.
You're not allowed to say the country's name, like guess that, until you're like actually guessing. So you have to say, does your country this?
Okay, I got one right now.
Yeah,
I got one.
Yeah,
lay it on. Start asking me questions about my country.
Oh, all right. Does your country follow the Geneva Convention?
Yeah.
All right. Does your country wear glasses?
Yeah, the people there wear glasses.
People there.
There's a pair of glasses on the country. If I imagine a person from this country, they are bespectacled. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
and they probably make glasses there too.
Make glasses.
Probably.
Would you say this country is a developing nation?
No.
Does this country call it soccer or football?
I mean, you didn't ask me if this country speaks English, but they probably call it football. They definitely don't call it soccer. I'll say that they definitely don't call it soccer.
Oh man, is this country Switzerland?
No.
Oh, I don't know why that was. I think maybe it's because I imagined Switzerland as just a country that has glasses. Any.
Well, I'll tell you, because I think this bit has stopped being fun. You were super close.
Oh yeah.
It was Luxembourg.
Oh my.
Which is
I
right
got
there.
Very close.
Right there. And they also make watches and fine jewelry, and that's why you said glasses. I'm like, Luxembourg definitely makes some nice glasses.
No, yeah.
Some people there could definitely repair
That's
your
where
glasses.
Warby Parker is from. The dude.
The dude is from Luxembourg?
Yeah, Warby Parker.
Really?
Yeah, he's a real guy.
No, you're making this up. He's
no,
a
Warby
Luxembourgian?
Parker is Luxembourgish, first of all.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought we were just playing Guess Who, and now I'm being called a fucking dick. This is horrible.
You're an anti-Luxembite.
Oh, my God, man. All right, let's see how much time we're at. 37. This is brutal.
This is brutal. Do we have a goal time? What are we trying to do?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not brutal. I'm having fun. I just wanted to say that. This is probably brutal for the viewer, but there isn't one, so that's fine. Hopefully, we'll clip it up. Whatever.
So the next episode we'll be watching the first episode on the thing, and then halfway through you'll be like, "So what did you think about this next part?" I'm like, "I didn't watch the."
Okay, what about this for a premise?
Yeah.
Obscure sports.
I mean, I love an obscure sport.
You like obscure sports?
Yeah.
What's a good obscure sport that you like?
I mean, are we gonna count like Aussie rules football because that's obscure up here?
Yes, obscure. A very wide net for obscure.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's what is that? Is it? Oh, I want to say it's Southeast Asia. I want to say maybe Myanmar. And it's a sport that is cooperative. And it's basically just hacky sack, kicking a ball around, but you have to keep it up in the air. And people will pay tickets to like watch it.
Oh, people will actually watch because in the Middle East there's a game that is called matkot, which is, I think in America might be called paddleball. You have a squash ball, and you have a big wooden paddle, and you just hit it back and forth.
I've done that on the beach.
Yes, it's a very popular thing to do on the beach. And but it's not. I don't think anybody's ever paid to watch matkot.
No,
but
in fact, I think I've been paid to stop doing it so close to someone on the beach.
There's a great gag in "Don't Mess with the Zohan," which is a great parody of Middle Eastern Jewish culture, where in the opening sequence, they take out a grenade and they're like gonna throw a grenade at the bad guy, but then they start matkoting it back and forth, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
if you think about. So it's a big part, but if it's in Southeast Asia, then it's probably for gambling. People are probably gambling on like how long they're gonna keep the hacky sack up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's every sport's about gambling now.
I mean, here. Every sport's about gambling now. I believe. I don't want to get too out of pocket here, but I believe in countries like Cambodia.
Yeah.
I think it's always been gambling oriented in Cambodia, in Vietnam, Thailand.
To be honest, I think the sports have just humanly always been about the gambling.
That's true. I mean, racing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the classic one. It's just figuring out new ways to gamble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man!
All right, I got an obscure sport that I would do. This might actually be a better premise for a podcast.
It'd be fun.
We pull up an obscure sport. We try to understand it. We maybe watch some clips. We can pull up clips of people doing it. But mine, I don't. Again,
every week we join a fantasy league of a different country's sport that we've never followed.
Now, is this too jockish, or will we? No, we'll be able to include anybody.
What do you mean? We're jocks.
We'll include esports. We'll include whatever, like competitive Go or whatever.
Competitive Go.
Yeah, that's big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a whole racket unto itself. Yeah.
That sounds like one of those. When you're talking to someone and they'll mention something kind of offhand, and then you realize, oh, this person's way into this.
Yeah.
You know about competitive Go, right?
My brother was really into competitive Go. It's like chess.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
But like, did he nationally? Are there tournaments? Is there?
Yeah, in Asia, there's huge tournaments.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that where he currently is on the pro circuit?
No, he where my brother is.
Yeah, he's on the pro go circuit.
No, he tried, but they broke his thumbs.
They broke his thumbs.
Yeah.
Because he got too powerful.
They were trying to. They had. Well, it was a gambling. It was a money thing.
Yeah. He was getting old and slow, and they're like, "You're gonna lose anyway."
Yeah, he refused.
Might as well
He
throw
refused
the game.
He refused to take a dive. And they broke his thumbs, and then he couldn't play anymore.
Yeah. You can't flip those little discs without your
you can't
thumbs.
put it's a pebble.
It's a pebble. Yeah, because it's the white and black. Like
no,
that's reversing.
That's Othello.
Othello. No,
there is no competitive Othello. I don't.
Why not?
I don't think that's played at a high level. That's like
that's not played at a high level.
That's like barely tic tac toe. You know what I mean? That's like,
why is that not at the same level as Go?
Go is like one of the most sophisticated games that human beings have ever conceived of. Chess was solved by computers in like the 70s, I think, or 80s when a computer beat Garry Kasparov.
Yeah.
Go was solved by computers like 5 years ago.
Was that because they only started trying Go on computers 6 years ago?
Yeah.
It happened.
The government of China certainly has no computer know-how to try to do anything.
They just weren't using it for Go.
No, they have their own distro of Linux. It's called Red Linux.
Ooh.
In China, you're not allowed to use Windows 11. You can only use Windows 10 or Red Linux.
Have you heard about Blue Linux?
Lay it on me.
That's where you're just about to finish installing Linux, and then at the last second you get
the installer
Windows.
stops, dude. You have to restart your computer, and you have to wait a whole day to try again. I've had Blue Linux a few times.
You ever have Blue Linux where your penguins all
Blue Ubuntu,
all swollen?
Blue Ubuntu is good.
Blue Ubuntu.
I got a Blue Ubuntu the other day. I was sitting on the toilet and installing Linux.
I was installing Linux, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No,
you could probably get Windows to run on a toilet, but not.
Should we just be a early 2010s technology podcast?
I could talk for a while about operating systems. It would be extremely boring. So that's for
Can we
another
just
day.
shit talk Vista for 10 straight
Dude,
episodes?
my younger brother, was taking a computer science course in college because he was a computer science major and now works in computer science.
Yeah.
And his professor, one of his accolades, that he used to work in Microsoft, and he told the whole lecture hall that he was one of the people who worked on Windows Vista, and they all bust out laughing, and he had to defend himself. It was like, I know, but there was some good stuff that we did in there.
I had Vista, or I tried to have Vista. My dad hated Windows for some reason. Still to this day,
Good
only
man.
Macs.
Oh, I hate both of those. But go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you've got the RC Cola of computing on your side.
No, I use Windows because you kind of have to. But go ahead.
So he was super anti Windows, always using Mac. But I wanted to be like a computer gamer. So I had to get the
back in the
I had to
day.
get Boot Camp.
You could not do that on a Mac.
Oh yeah, I was like, you could get Boot Camp and then load up Vista on a separate instance within my Mac to try and run Total War. And I think
Rome Total War.
This was the Empire Total War.
Was that a real-time strategy game?
It was the same as Rome Total War.
Bird's eye view type game?
Yeah, but it was instead of being Rome, it was the colonial era. So there were guns.
Colonial United States?
Colonial United States.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
That is rough.
Use of I mean, if we want to get into goofy strategy games, I got a lot of those. And
God.
I love a good strategy game where they do have a button that is commit atrocities. It doesn't say commit atrocities. They try to get around it.
Oh, there's also a game finish your story. I got a game where atrocities are part of the game.
Oh, so this one it'd be like, convert culture?
Oh, jeez. There's a game called Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri.
Oh, yeah.
Great game. Turn-based strategy game. But there were things that were literally called atrocities, and if you did them, it would have impacts like other computer players would stop making deals with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Your own people would rebel against you, and it was literally called an atrocity. So, like, you could drop nuclear bombs.
Yeah,
You could torture people. You could do this stuff, but it was called an atrocity and would have consequences.
Oh, that's some classic civil. I mean, you know about Gandhi with Sid Meier's Civilization, right?
What about Gandhi?
Gandhi,
He beats women in the game.
in the game.
He beats his wife.
It's a
That's his
cutscene.
big superpower. Is that he's a wife beater?
He has plus 10 attack against every woman leader. So terrible.
That's Gandhi's special.
No, he has an attack where if he's losing, he'll say, "Well, I'm just not eating," and then you have to watch him go on a hunger strike until you concede the game. That's not actually what's happening. I just want to. You had this look in your eye where you're like, "What the?"
There's a hunger strike button.
There's a hunger
in Sid
strike
Meier?
button.
That's interesting. That would be an interesting thing. No, what is the thing with Gandhi?
His thing, and this is kind of, I want to say well known, but it's only well known to like strategy.
I don't
nerds.
know it. So the people watching on YouTube are throwing chairs at their screens right now. But go ahead and lay it on me.
They wanted to make him be like a peaceful leader. And so, they had like an aggressiveness. They had stats in the background. You couldn't see them, but each leader had like personality traits.
People can reverse engineer the game and figure it out.
This guy has X amount of willingness to trade. This guy has Y amount of this. His aggressiveness for war was set to, I believe, 1 or 0, whichever was on their scale the lowest. But when someone first develops a nuke, a mechanic in the game is because of mutually assured destruction, every leader automatically has their aggressiveness levels drop by 2.
So he gets -1, which is then treated as maximum aggression.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Gandhi
I also
would
studied
be,
computer science.
So Gandhi would be the most peaceful person until nukes were invented, and then he would be constantly nuking people. The whole game, he would just be like your best friend, and then at the end be like, "It's time, folks,"
and then nuke everybody. That's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
And they keep it into all the new games. They don't fix it because it's part of the game.
People like it.
People like it. It's their like, oh, it's a little not a trademark, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
Part of the culture. Yeah, a little Easter egg.
Convert culture. Well, the obscure sport. The obscure sport that I think we can get into is Greco-Roman wrestling. Now, you might know this. You might not. American high school and college wrestling is called collegiate or scholastic wrestling. It's different than what they do in the Olympics. And in the Olympics, there's 2 kinds of wrestling. There's freestyle wrestling. That's what most people are thinking of when they think of Greco-Roman wrestling. Freestyle wrestling is like most of the people you see who like go to the UFC or like do this. Most of the things you associate with wrestling is pretty close to freestyle wrestling. It's pretty similar to American scholastic wrestling. Greco-Roman wrestling is really weird and kind of boring most of the time. It's mostly like, it's kind of similar to sumo where like most of the time it's just 2 guys pushing each other out of bounds. Whoever pushes the other at the high levels, that's what it's like. Because the only way you're allowed to take the other guy down is to do like a big upper body throw, which is really hard to do. And that could be a fun thing to get into. We could play some clips.
Ooh, play some clips. I mean, we could also talk about this. We could just get into sumo as well.
Sumo would be a good. We could do a whole sumo episode.
We're just watching different videos of men bumping into each other.
Well, at wrestling practice, you do a drill called sumo.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever go to a wrestling practice?
I did not go to wrestling practice.
Because you seem really knowledgeable. You're like, yeah, of course you do the sumo drill.
I'm not going to lie, Uri. I spent a lot of time being a screw-up in school. So I got very good at being able to respond as if I had done the work and know what's going on. Totally. That's
been the theme of the day. No, because you've done like.
Oh yeah.
You played football and stuff. Do they do sumo drills and that, like push each other out of a circle?
Yeah. Well, they call it. It was the bear circle.
Yeah. See.
That would you'd have everyone would be standing in a circle and a coach would be walking around like duck, duck, goose, and then he would just slap like a player on the helmet and then slap another player on the helmet, and then they would just go full speed into the center of the circle and just bash into each other.
Jesus. fuck?
Oh yeah, that was a great thing that we did in 6th grade.
Oh man, I never went to a football practice. My dad didn't want me to have head injuries.
Oh, he was correct. he was correct. He's like, I think
I'm gonna let my kids do it if they want. Though.
You're gonna let your kids do it?
Maybe, I don't know. I have a pipe dream of my daughter being a UFC champion.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
it would still probably be less head injuries than if your daughter played football
or boxing. Yeah,
or boxing.
Boxing is worse than kickboxing for concussion stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because in they got the lighter gloves, so it's like you get hit in the face twice and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just bound.
Versus boxers get like all day, like Homer Simpson.
Like Homer Simpson? Yeah.
Or Peter Griffin when he became a boxer.
Oh yeah.
Or
when I became a boxer.
Or Stan from South Park. Stan Marsh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Stan from American Dad.
That's good too.
My unpopular opinion, American Dad is better than Family Guy.
Well, American Dad is a little more plot oriented.
Yeah.
Family Guy to me is just funny. It doesn't need anything. It's just it is, I think, one of the funniest shows out there. In terms of pure ha 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 laughter, it's one of the funniest shows in existence. It's got zero substance, and that's good. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, it's like going to Arby's.
Um,
I don't know why you got so philosophical. That looked like it really hit you hard. It was like, it's like going to Arby's.
You brought up a lot of baggage with the Arby's thing, okay?
A lot of baggage. You have a lot of baggage associated with Arby's.
Trust me, bro. There's a lot of mustard packets in the bag of this.
You have a lot of horsey sauce in your bag.
Is there an Arby's near here?
I hope so.
We should get Arby's. That's like a
get Arby's now.
You got me on a train, dude.
If you're only listening to this, Uri is pacing around, itching, looking for the nearest Arby's online.
I turned my phone on airplane mode for this, and I regret it because I would like to look up the nearest Arby's. Don't.
Don't
I'm
look
kidding.
up the nearest
I'm
Arby's.
kidding. We're not going to fucking Arby's, dude. We live in New York City. We can get,
Off the podcast, should we go to Arby's?
yeah, we're gonna do that.
I hope that sounds like I've.
Now we have to. We said Arby's so many times, dude. That's great. That's great. I'm gonna get a tall sandwich.
You know why we said Arby's so much is because we are sponsored by the American Cardiac Association. They need their money, and you gotta get that heart issue.
Of course,
somehow.
the ACA, American Cardiac Association. Isn't it? There used to be. There used to be a sticker on all these products. Was it I think it was the American Heart Association.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
They
got totally cucked by this keto thing.
by keto.
Yeah.
They did.
Heart Healthy got cucked by keto.
They did write that memoir, Cucked by Keto.
Remember when everybody thought that Honey Nut Cheerios was healthy?
Sorry, I'm imagining the romance novel Cucked by Keto, where some guy's wife gets way into keto, and now she won't have sex with him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, people get cucked by things other than partners. Like, wives have gotten cucked by golf, or hunting.
Yeah.
I've been cucked by golf. I've been friendship cucked by golf. I had a friend who moved away. I was living in Boston. He moved very far away, and he would come to visit a few times a year, and I really liked seeing him. But then he got wicked into golf. I don't play golf. A bunch of our other friends do play golf. So when he would come visit, he was hanging out with all my other friends, and all they would do is go play golf. And I got kind of sidelined, which there are no sidelines in golf.
No. There's only bystanders.
No, there's bystanders. There's a rough. There's a green.
Yeah.
There's a hole. There's a rough and there's a hole.
There's a rough and a hole. I know there's a hole.
That's pretty good.
I like this character trait you have of there's a hole.
I'm very hole oriented. That's true.
I went to this new bakery. They had these like pastries, there's glazed, and they had like a little sprinkle on it, and they had a hole.
Okay, I mean, fucking a donut is nothing. Nothing. We're not breaking ground with fucking a donut. You know what I mean? No. Have you ever fucked any type of pastry?
I have not fucked any type of pastry.
Have you fucked any type of food item?
What is what are we on trial?
No, it's just an honest question.
It's just an honest question.
You-
I don't think I've fucked any type of food.
No, I do. I use.
Oh, you think I've fucked food?
Huh?
No, I was like, I don't think I fucked.
No,
any
I mean
kind of
I've
food.
given out this
I
famous.
do.
I've given out this famous advice.
Yeah.
Where the best lubricant to use is coconut oil,
Oh.
which is a food. They sell it for the purpose of cooking, and I bring it home and use it for sex.
You take it out of the can, or you just leave it right in the can?
Huh? Like a
coconut
spray.
oil?
It's a spray can.
Oh, it's a spray can.
It's a can of Pam. I'm pamming my wife's tits.
Now that I think of it, why aren't they making spray lubricant?
I want to get, or I wanted, now that I'm on coconut oil, I no longer am going to do this, but I used to have this when I was single, as I had a can of, a jar of lubricant. I had the Squirt.
You had the pump. The pump.
Yeah. So I was going, and then go to town. Yeah. Yeah. That was good. But then I talked to a urologist who said silicone lube is a no-go.
Who took one look at you and said, you were using a lot of lube.
No, he did take one look, but it was all good news. I thought I was in way worse shape than I was.
He said, normally I wouldn't be able to get a full baseball bat in there.
Wait, and this is when my urologist, is he fucking my ass with a baseball bat, or is he sounding my dick with a baseball bat?
I don't know. I'm not a urologist.
You don't know what they do. For all I know, they could be baseball. Oh God, I don't even want to say those words.
Oh my God. Now my lube strat is I've got it's like an oil drum. And like if you go to the ice cream place, they'll do like a dipped cone. I just dip the lower half of my body.
Oh my God.
That's great because I can then use it as a form of transportation.
And what kind of lube are we using here?
Oh man,
You got to get specific. I know the market.
So I use because they have different densities. The top part of the barrel is like a silicone based lube, and the bottom part of the barrel is latex is not a lube base.
No, I've never seen latex-based lube.
Let's say
Like a KY jelly.
Yeah,
How about
like an
jelly?
aloe vera base. Let's say.
Oh, that's interesting.
So then I have.
I don't think you want to do
I have
that.
2 layers of different lubes.
Yeah, you come out looking like a tiramisu.
Tiramisu, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm dry at the top, and then
Tiramisu.
tiramisu.
All right, so I think this has been fun. It has been a complete failure of a podcast premise, but it was fun.
All right, other idea.
Okay.
You go in like those movies where they're getting decontaminated,
Like a hazmat thing?
like a hazmat thing, but instead it's just spraying lube on you.
The lube cast?
the lube cast, slippery cast. We're just constantly dropping the microphones. Oh no!
Honestly, lube cast is not a bad name for this video. Whatever
we
this is.
set up a camera and we just put up a bunch of tarps on the wall.
I'm gonna title this Lube Cast Pilot.
Loopcast pilot. We're just slipping and sliding out of the chairs. We can't hold on to anything.
We can't even hold. The microphones have to be dropped down from the ceiling, and we can't touch them.
It's like
Yes, no, this stuff is goopy.
we're doing like the newborn baby deer. Like we can't stand up because it's like Home
And
Alone
what do we
2.
talk about? How is this a podcast, by the way? Are we talking about stuff, or is it just?
It's just slipping around.
Oh.
I think it might not be a podcast at that point. That might be a fetish video.
Yeah. All right, give me one more obscure sport that we'll cover. We'll do one more each, and then we'll wrap it up.
One more obscure sport. You've seen underwater torpedo football?
Oh, that's something they do as a training program in the Marines, right?
Yeah, but they do it just as a sport now.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I would really like to. I'd be very interested in that. Do they use scuba gear, or
No. It's like
you have to hold your breath?
You have to hold your breath. So they're down there and they're throwing the little torpedoes. Like from like when you were a kid playing in the pool, they had the underwater torpedoes.
No, I've never seen that.
Never had those?
No.
Oh, they're great. They're just little rubber thing, then they glide under the water really well.
Oh, they just glide well. They don't have I thought they had some sort of propeller in there.
I mean, they have fins, but it doesn't actually do anything.
It doesn't have a motor.
No, you have to like throw it like a football.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
And they do it as a training program to get people more comfortable, like maneuvering underneath the water.
Yeah, but then they just do it as a sport, and you have a goalie, and you have like I think it's like 10 on 10.
That's cool.
It's as full contact as underwater can get.
I mean, we did underwater wrestling and stuff back in my day.
Ooh.
And it is you move slow down there.
Yeah, how do they keep you down?
Oh no, there was no they. This was just us being dicks in a pool.
I thought this was a wrestling practice.
No, this was just two guys in a pool just like horsing around.
Your coach is like, we got some heavy shoes for you to wear.
No. You would be like somewhat above water. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right.
Yeah.
The two sports I would want to cover is highlight.
Ooh, highlight.
That's
I've always
interesting.
wanted to know how that works.
Yes, and then professional rocks paper scissors,
Ooh.
which is fun.
When does something move from game to sport?
You know, there's some gray area. People have said baseball and golf is more of a game than a sport for sure, because your heart rate doesn't really get that high. I mean, I guess base runners and outfielders.
Yeah, they're running around.
They're running around. They get a bit of a workout, but I mean, not as much as soccer players.
Yeah, but is there is there a certain heart rate it has to get to become a sport?
No, I think just once you rank and do it competitively, it's now a sport.
It's now a sport.
Esports, that's the thing where if you're just playing StarCraft, you're playing a game.
Yeah.
If you're competing competitively in StarCraft, it's now a sport. You're still a loser.
So we're calling chess a sport as well.
I think it would be considered. Yeah.
Because if esports are sports, chess would have to be also a sport.
Yeah, if esports are a sport, then Gary Kasparov is like, LeBron. And who was the American guy, the crazy guy who went up against Kasparov? Bobby
Fischer.
Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
And then now there's a guy named Magnuson.
Yeah.
And then there's also a lady who I think she might be the first lady grandmaster, the first American lady grandmaster.
Yeah.
Do you know her name? She's big time too.
No clue. I think I was just also going to say Kasparov, but that'd
be fun.
Yeah.
I bet Gary Kasparov's daughter was nasty at chess.
Does he have a family?
I just claimed it.
You know what? He does. And on this podcast, where we go find Gary Kasparov's daughter, 17-part true crime podcast, search. The Kasparov Files. She's not missing, but we are trying to find her.
We just look her up.
we just look.
She's in a phone book. All right. Well, this has been interesting. This has been fun. The premise completely fell apart, which is fine. I didn't like that premise anyway.
I take full responsibility.
It is your fault.
It is. Well, some people said you should watch this and not let's watch this.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you watched it this far, please comment. Say I watched the whole thing. We will be shocked, but pleased. And we're happy to welcome you.